Hey everyone and welcome back to XCOM. So, it's been a while since the last campaign, and I figured it's time for some more XCOM action. We're going to start a new one, and I got a few new mods that I never used previously, which should make this campaign a little bit different than any of the previous ones I've done. We'll discuss the new mods shortly once we get into the game, or once we get past the first mission, because I'll be able to show you at least some of them once we get to our base. So, we'll be playing on Legend, without the beginner voiceovers. We'll be using both the DLCs, so Alien Hunters and Shen's Last Gift. And let's get started. So the first mission is always a bit of a lottery. That's just how it goes. Yes, we're serious, especially the dude on the right, with the hat. He's very serious.
We're moving in to take out a high-profile target that will get plenty of people's attention, especially Advent. Move to lock down the area and eliminate any security forces nearby.
So I am using my character pool, which means we'll probably see some familiar faces, but I'll do my best to pick the soldiers who didn't see a lot of action previously.
Menace 1-5, we have a fix on the target. Move to place the X4 charges at the
So now,
designated position.
the first mission is always the trickiest part. Who do we have? We got Patrick, that's the guy with the hat. We got Joseph, we got Bob. Oh hey, we got Bob, awesome. Yeah, I added Bob to the character pool because he was just too perfect. You might remember Bob from the previous campaign, and if you don't, Bob was actually a randomly generated character, like no kidding. He was not part of my character pool. He was completely randomly generated. So he was so perfect that I decided to keep him in my pool permanently. And we got Roy. Alright, so the important part here is to kill the first group reliably. Might be best to use some high ground. Yes, I think we should use some high ground. So let's just set up here and we'll wait a few turns for the patrol. There's no rush, because this mission is not on a timer, it never is. And killing that first group, especially on Legend in the first mission, is just so important. We basically have to keep all 4 of these soldiers alive. We'll wait a few turns, hopefully the patrol will move a little bit closer, because there will be a patrol somewhere in the area. We aren't that far away from the actual objective, so I'm hoping the patrol is somewhere in the area. The only downside of using the high ground is that it only has partial cover, which means we basically have to kill at least 2 out of 3 dudes in the patrol with Overwatch shots. It will be pretty high chance to hit, but not 100. You pretty much can't get 100 with these guys. It's not really possible in the first mission. If they don't show up, we can send one person to maybe lure them towards us. Come on, I know you're there.
Shut up! Listen!
Yes, I'm listening. Now? Well, they aren't very eager to meet our welcoming committee, apparently. Alright, Patrick, you are going to be our bait. I mean, a scout. There are some civilians down here, so let's be careful. Overwatch.
Movement ahead.
Yes, movement ahead. I can't see any. Well then, let's use the full cover. Well, there's the objective, but no Advent. Okay, here's the first group. Good, good. We need them to move towards us a little bit more than this. Are they going to move at all? No, that's just a stationary group. We don't know where the patrol is, and this is too far away to throw a grenade. I could move closer and throw a grenade, but that's a terrible, terrible idea, because we would likely end up triggering multiple groups. And we can't afford that. Only 66%. Slightly disappointing. Let's wait one more turn. No, I don't think anything is going to change. Alright, we'll just take a shot and Overwatch on the high ground. Make it a good one, thanks. 65%. Okay, that was actually a good one.
They found us.
Alright, now we have to kill the other two guys before they kill us. XCOM tactics in a nutshell. Okay, here comes the reaction shot. Okay, nice one, that's a kill. And he has some loot. And the other guy, no reaction shots, unfortunately. But he's in range to shoot us. So now we could throw a grenade, if we want to. We can also take some shots without a grenade. We'll have 3 shots with 65%. Okay, that's already a miss, not good. It's a little bit risky not throwing a grenade. But this is only the first group. I will likely need the grenades. Okay, it's a kill. We saved the grenades, that's good. Let's move, and we can grab the loot on the next turn. I don't want to trigger another group just yet, but I want to be able to grab the loot on the next turn. Let's move a tiny little bit closer, and we can grab the loot on the next turn. Okay, Overwatch. There will be 2 more groups around here. So the plan is to grab the loot and then hide behind full cover. If we trigger a group, which we likely will, it's very likely that this will trigger a group, but I want that loot. We got Advent Logbox, Corrosive Shrapnel, and Hair Trigger. And we didn't trigger anything. Nice. Let's back up then. And Overwatch. It would be best if a patrol moved into our reaction shots. That would be the best case scenario. I don't think we can afford to stay on the high ground much longer. As much as I like the hide bonus, it's only partial cover, that's one thing, and we'll be out of range, that's the other thing. Let's just reload. At least some of our weapons. The one that only had 2 ammunition. Yes, I hear that. Are they coming? No, at least not yet. Alright, Bob. You can scout ahead a bit, or at least try to move ahead slightly. Yes, something moved over there. That's not vague at all. Come on, don't be shy. We are right here.
Shut up. Listen.
Yes, I'm listening. Are they coming or what? Well, they aren't very eager, apparently. Let's move up a little bit. We have to keep the dude with 1 health behind full cover. That's Joseph. Don't die on me, Joseph. That's an order. No, enemy's not on the move. At least not anywhere close to us. Overwatch again. I don't want to move much closer because I kind of need them to patrol into us. That's the best way to handle it. To have the patrol move into your reaction fire. I'll just wait a few more turns. We can move up a little bit. We know it's safe to stand over here, for example, because Patrick did. Overwatch. There will be at least 1 patrol. Somewhere around here. Okay, let's move into full cover. And there it is. Unfortunately, that means we triggered it. That's bad. Alright. Well, this is actually really bad. Because we likely won't be able to kill them reliably. That's the biggest problem with this mission, you just don't have the tools. We do have a grenade, but we are out of range. Right, I don't think they can move enough to flank Roy on the next turn. I'm pretty sure they can't. So let's move a little bit closer. 45%. We might have to risk taking a shot, because really, it won't get much better than this. 45% is about as good as it's going to get when they are in cover. And that's a hit. Okay, I'll take it. It wasn't 4 damage, but it's acceptable. Move Bob into full cover. And Overwatch. Now, the biggest problem is the Advent Officer. What about Joseph? I would prefer him not to die. Let's keep him in the back. So if they move towards us, they will trigger Joseph's reaction shot. 45% chance to kill that guy. Let's go for it. And we missed. Alright. That's one hit out of 2 shots with 45%. I'll take it. That's statistically a decent result. Now Patrick is marked. He does have full cover, but that might not save him. That officer needs to die as soon as possible.
Incoming fire!
This might be the best moment to use a grenade. Here comes a reaction shot from Joseph, and it's not enough for a kill, damn it. Okay, we are fine.
That was close.
Yes, that was close. Okay, at least 2 of these guys have to die on this turn. And if I don't want to trigger a reaction shot, I have to throw a grenade. It feels like a bit of a waste, but it will get rid of Overwatch. I'm not going to risk getting hit. So now this is where the RNG comes in. Because we can flank this guy, but that will still be only around 65% chance to hit. I could throw a grenade to do 1 damage. It's not the best use of a grenade ever. But that will be a guaranteed kill. Now, the only problem is also that guy in the back. I would prefer to kill both. But here's another issue. If I move up to throw a grenade, I might trigger the 3rd group, because there will be 1 more group somewhere in this mission. And I don't know where exactly it is. It's a tough position to be in. No matter what we do, it's going to be a bit of a gamble. A smaller gamble, a bigger gamble, but there's no good answer here. It will come down to luck. We could take a shot from back here. Well, I can't really throw a grenade from here because, again, that guy with 1 health will flank Roy and he will kill Roy. I could move up, but again, if we move here, we risk triggering a group, and that would be terrible. Especially since it's going to be a group with a sectoid, so that's even worse. It's bad. I can't reach that guy with a grenade from where I'm standing. What about Bob? What can Bob do? Again, he could move up, but it's not amazing. And taking a shot at a guy behind full cover isn't going to work because that's only 25%. I think this is really the only valid move we have. Then we can throw a grenade. There's no other option really. We just have to risk this move. Okay, it worked. Now, yeah, 69%. We have to throw a grenade to kill that guy. I'm not going to risk leaving him alive. So that's 1 down. Now, Bob. That's your job now. Can we actually take a decent flanking shot? We might have to throw another grenade, which is not exactly what I like, but... What about Joseph? I can't move into full cover from the officer and then throw a grenade. If we go here, the officer will flank Joseph. We obviously don't want that. Might be best to stay where we are and just try to take a shot. It's still 1 out of 4 chance to hit. Alright, let's try to take a shot. That's honestly the best Joseph can do in this situation. And we actually killed him. Good job, Joseph. You earned your promotion. Now, Bob. Let's have a look. We could throw a grenade. Is this actually close enough? No, it's not. It's not close enough. We are just out of range. Yeah, because the tile is not highlighted. 27%. Might be best to use Overwatch in case he tries to run away. Or in case he tries to move towards us. Let's use Overwatch. It's unlikely we'll hit 25% shots in a row. And now we got a flanking shot, and we missed. Come on, Bob, you had one job. And you failed. Well, that's not good. Let's reload.
I'm ready.
And wait for them to come back.
Oh yeah. Moving to
I think it's best if we wait for them to come to us, and they will come to us. They almost definitely will.
Affirmative. Covering now.
Alright, let's Overwatch a few times. And we'll wait. There will be a sectoid. And he will have to die as soon as possible.
Orders confirmed.
Alright, we have a bit of a breather. But not for long, most likely. Let's move a little bit closer. I don't want to spread out too much. Overwatch.
You hear anything?
They will show up, don't worry. Yep, here they come already. We need a few good shots. Come on, people. And missed. Damn it.
Missed.
Come on. We need at least one hit. Preferably 2 hits, if possible. Hit the sectoid, go. Nice. That was a hit, right? Yes, it certainly was.
They are stronger than ever,
Alright.
with an even greater
Let's have a look. This is going to be nasty. So, Roy. We can flank the sectoid, but I'll have to use partial cover because I literally don't have a choice. It's not optimal, but let's go for it. 66%, so this comes down to RNG, like really. We just have to hit this. But we got 34% chance to miss. Which is a pretty damn big chance to miss for a flanked enemy, but that's just how it goes in the first mission. And of course, we missed. You know, that happens every single time I do this mission. Which, I mean, is still statistically quite likely, but it's kind of frustrating because it's not easy to set up these flanking shots. It really is not. And now, well, we don't have a big choice here. I could throw a grenade, and then Joseph will probably die. So that's not ideal. I think I could move close enough. But that would be a suicide move with Joseph. It wouldn't even kill the sectoid because a grenade will not do more than 4 damage. The big problem is that the sectoid might mind control Roy, for example. I could move a little bit closer and then hunker down. I would have to use partial cover. I could also dash into full cover. That's a possibility. Let's try to dash into full cover. We don't have to watch out for other groups because this is the last group. There are no more aliens. Joseph needs to not die, so let's just back up and hunker down. And Patrick, click an Overwatch. The drone will likely attack us, or we could just shoot the drone right away. The drone is annoying because he can stun soldiers, or eat. Let's take a shot. We'll have to hit it more than once. And it has a defense bonus because it's technically a flying enemy. It's very annoying. Here comes the sectoid. Well, at least he's kind of cooperating because now he's very close and behind easily destructible cover. But now we basically have to do something about the sectoid. Okay, here comes the drone. We need a grenade on the sectoid. Missed. Good, good. We will have to ignore the drone right now. There's no other option, really. We need a grenade from Joseph on the sectoid, so that's the first thing. Will we trigger the reaction shot from the officer? No, we shouldn't. No, this style is out of range of the officer. So this shouldn't trigger anything.
Moving to position.
And we'll still be in full cover. Alright. This might not destroy his cover. Well, only one way to find out.
Catch.
Yes, catch. No, it didn't destroy that cover. We have to hit him one more time then. And we don't have any more grenades. I can't flank him, unfortunately, and moving would be a terrible idea because the officer is on Overwatch. Actually, hold on, the officer wouldn't see Roy. But I would have to stand in the fire, which is not ideal. Might still be the best move, honestly. We'll take a little bit of damage from the fire. No, because then the officer will just move to the right and kill us. Well, we'll just have to hit. I would prefer to move into full cover if possible. So let's just do that. It's a shame we don't have a grenade, because this is where I could really use one. 66%. And that's a kill. Okay, good. So now we just got the drone and the officer. We could shoot the drone from here. I don't really want to move too much. We do have full cover and the officer cannot flank anyone. Let's just shoot the drone then, shall we? And miss. That drone is the single most annoying enemy in the first mission. It's not even the sectoid, it's the friggin' drone, because it's so hard to hit it. And it has the annoying armor. Yeah, we missed every single shot at the drone so far. And that officer is still going to be a problem. Yep, grenade. It won't kill anyone, but we're down to 1 health each. And here comes the drone. Yeah, the drone will kill Joseph. But now it will stun Joseph. Alright, fair enough. That's better than dead. But we won't be able to kill the drone. Especially if we keep missing. This is basically point blank range. Only 2 damage. Well, we have to use partial cover only. The officer will almost definitely kill whoever is standing in partial cover. I can almost guarantee that's going to happen. So let's try to stay in full cover. 45%. Okay, we got the drone. So now we have to get the officer. I could throw a grenade, but it might end up doing 1 damage only. And this is my only chance to flank him with someone else. Except I can't do it on this turn, which means it's not the best idea to throw a grenade right now. Yeah, it would be best to hunker down or something. We could move into full cover and then hunker down. Mind you, he might still kill Bob. But that's the safest move we have. So let's do that. The grenade would almost definitely do 3 damage. Because it's not a 50-50. It's more like 25-25. He is actually running away. Yeah, he just moved into full cover and used Overwatch. So... well, this is where it comes down to blind luck again. Because there's nothing I can possibly do that won't risk getting a soldier killed. Like, literally nothing. I can move out of his line of sight to force him to move again. But really, there's nothing I can do that won't be in some way risky. We'll try Overwatch from back here. He's moving again, good. Well, he missed. Now we can flank him. Okay. But we'll have to do 4 damage. Come on, Patrick. So this will be a nice flanking shot. We'll stay in full cover. This needs to hit. 66% again. And yep, he's dead. Okay, good. We took a lot of damage, but no one died. That's the important part here. Obviously, these people will be wounded after, but... fine, they are alive, and they will get their promotions. That's the most important part here. We'll have 1 person at least. Patrick is not wounded. Operation Gatecrasher completed. 35 turns. 3 soldiers wounded. Let's go check out our promotions. So, I'm using one new class, which is the Spec Ops class, the Long War version of it. And I'm also using the perk pack, like I did in the previous campaign. It's compatible. And I'm also using the Spec Ops Combat Knives mod, which goes with the Spec Ops class. Then I also got the Squad Notoriety mod, which is kind of like Fatigue, but not really. I like it more than Fatigue, because with Fatigue mod, you are forced to bring different soldiers, as in, you physically aren't allowed to bring the same soldier more than twice in a row. With Squad Notoriety, you can keep bringing the same squad if you really want to, but they will keep getting penalized, and the penalties get progressively worse. At first, the enemies just get increased detection radius, then they get extra reinforcements, and I think the last penalty is starting with all the enemies already activated, which is kind of really bad. But you can keep bringing your A-team if you want to. You just get more penalized if you do. I like that more than Fatigue. Then I also got a mod that I will show you once we get to the strategic map, one of my favorite new mods. I got additional dark events, which is exactly what it sounds. Some of them are actually really nasty, so it should make that part of the game more interesting. And I got Long War Toolbox, which I do intend to use. Anyway, we got an assault, that's Roy. Patrick is going to be, yep, the Spec Ops class, nice. Okay, then. So he starts with a melee attack and with Phantom. And he will be able to use combat knives, which I will show you later. Bob will be a shinobi, nice. And finally Joseph will be a specialist, good, good. Gravely wounded for a while. But it's okay, they are alive. Like I said, that's the thing that matters here. And we got the loot. So, there's one more mod that I would like to discuss. And that's, I think, my favorite new mod that I found in the past few weeks or months or whatever. And that's the Scanning Sites Plus mod. Which is exactly why we are starting with all these additional scanning sites. So what this mod does is it gives you additional locations like these, where you can get additional rewards if you complete a mission. They are entirely optional. There's no penalty whatsoever for skipping them. You can skip them if you like, or you can do the mission and get the rewards. Sounds fairly straightforward, but it does more than that. One of the side effects that I really like of this mod is that it gives you opportunities to do additional missions without the pressure to not fail them, because the general problem with XCOM 2 a lot of the time is that you get these critical missions which you really cannot afford to fail all the damn time. If you fail them, the campaign will very often just start going sharply downhill. But with Scanning Sites Plus, you get additional side missions where there's no penalty whatsoever for withdrawing. You can start the mission, then you can abandon it, abort it, and there will be no penalty, you just won't get the reward. But you can get additional experience. So if you lose a few important soldiers, you can use some of these missions to get fairly safe experience. It won't be 100% safe, because you can always get killed. But that's one of the reasons why I really like it. It's easily one of my favorite new mods. It's great. Not to mention the rewards are nice. So for example, you can get a soldier, as you saw right here, and we can get some equipment. Still, we have to do the mission, and these missions are not very easy, let's just say. At least not at the start. It's not a walk in the park, definitely not. We can get an engineer, we can get alloys and delirium, and resistance contacts. So that's that.
The lab is currently idle. We're wasting
Let's get started on some research. We are going to do modular weapons first, because that's a no-brainer, and then we'll open the logbox.
I do find that
And one last thing. I am using the Long War Toolbox, which I will use right now to increase the default squad size from 4 to 5. This is a setup that I tested before. I didn't play through the entire campaign with it, obviously, but it seemed fairly balanced with 5 default squad size. I didn't want to go up to 6 or more, because that makes missions a little bit too long, but 5 seemed just fine. So that means we'll end up with a maximum of 7 soldiers with both squad upgrades later on. But I'm going to make a cut here and continue in the next episode. So thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed this first episode. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and leave a like if you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.